Hey everybody, LeadSpeed here. I think I said that I would do this in a DN video, but you know what? I think it's for this. I'm making an exception for this, particularly because I want to try something different in that respect. I want to have, I want to be on the Wikia where the cards actually are, have the cards on screen, we can look at them at the same time because even though you're not here with me right now, you're basically looking at them on the same darn screen or whatever. So, simply put, I want to do it like this, where I'm on the Wikia, I have all the cards in separate tabs, and I can go over each of them, and then, talk about, my opinions and potential combos and blah, 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 blah. I don't know how long this is going to be. Hopefully not too long, but, most of my videos have been kind of like that, so screw it. It'll be as long as it needs to be, I guess. But, yeah, the Shinra monsters in Legacy of the Valiant. Now, interestingly enough, when we were first learning about Legacy of the Valiant, we knew about two monsters in this archetype, Shinra. We knew about Shinra no Mabari Peace, and we also knew about the big guy over here, Shinra no Senju Regia. And, these were some of the first cards revealed from the set. So, when we read what their effects were, we kind of had a basic premise of what these two did, but we don't know if the other Shinra monsters would work exactly the same, or we kind of had a hunch they worked similarly, but we couldn't really confirm that. But we can basically confirm that right now because of the other support cards in the monsters, spells and traps and stuff like that. And I kind of went over these, but we'll go over them very briefly again. So, Mabari Peace. He is Wind, Plant, Effect, Level 1, 400 Attack, 100 Defense. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is a plant-type monster, send it to the graveyard. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of your deck. If this card is revealed from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one level 4 or lower plant-type monster in your graveyard, special summon and target. You can only use this effect of Shinra no Mabari Peace once per turn. So, as you know, this archetype kind of works similarly to this. You reveal the top card or top cards of your deck, depending on how many they tell you to reveal when you fulfill a certain condition, whether it's being a normal summon or whatever. And then if it's a plant, you send it to the graveyard. Otherwise, it goes to the bottom of the deck. So that's basically the whole premise of this archetype. You basically want to mill plants off from these guys' effects, but they also have effects that activate when they get revealed and sent to the graveyard by a card effect. In this case, if this guy gets revealed by a Shinra monster, whether it's by another copy of this card or by Regia, if you reveal using either of them and you reveal this card and you mill it, you get to bring back a plant. I think Lone Fire Blossom is kind of the prime suspect here, but there's obviously other plant-type monsters that you can bring back to the level 4 lower. It just depends on what's in your graveyard and what you need at the time. So it's kind of interesting, and yeah. And particularly this effect, the revealing the top card of your deck and revealing if it's a plant monster or normal or special summon, you can do that each time it's normal or special summon. So if you milled another copy of this card and then you bring this guy back, you can activate the effect again, but you will not get a second special summon if you just happen to reveal another copy of this card, your third copy basically. But it's level 1, so if you have 2 of these, you can go for Slacker Magician or the new Ghost Trick, Dalahan or something like that. So I don't know, if you just want to throw that in there. Regia, the big guy, he's the big guy. Every set's got to have one of these, but interestingly enough, we already have a Flower Princess with the same level and stuff like that. Similar stats even too, but... Well, actually, similar, but in a different way. I'll explain that soon enough. Yeah. But yeah, he's Fire Plant. Effect, level 8, 2700 attack, 1800 defense. Once per turn, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is a plant-type monster, send it to the graveyard and draw one card. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of your deck. If this card is revealed from the deck and sent to the graveyard, you can look at up to 3 cards on the top of your deck. You can look at up to 3 cards on the top of your deck, then return them to the top of the deck in any order. So this guy works a little bit different. You have the potential of drawing a card if you reveal a plant type monster. You can send it to the grave and draw one. And then if you reveal him, you get to rearrange the top cards however you like. So this will also allow you to pretty much manipulate the top cards of your deck whenever you're activating an effect of a Shinra monster or one of these spells or traps that basically counts on you revealing the top card of your deck to do something. So it's kind of interesting, and being level 8, the first thing that's coming to your mind, you can run trade into discard into the graveyard. You can also summon it from the deck with Lone Fire Blossom, so you can kind of see why he's going to be pretty important to have as well, because, you know, he helps you get this kind of stuff onto the field, so it's interesting. But now we get to the new stuff that we've kind of learned about lately, and I know some people have probably talked about it before, maybe. But, you know, I just want to give my own thoughts because, you know, I've been playing Talaya Plants for who knows how long. I actually have lost track at this point. And, you know, I'm interested in seeing what this kind of stuff does for its own deck or even mixing it together with other plant type decks. But, yeah, we have Shinra no Kagabushi Bushi Stool. I have butchered that name. I am deeply, you know, I apologize for butchering the name there. Is a fire plant, level 2, 100 defense, 100 attack, 2000 defense. So he's pretty much a big wall there already. When this card is flipped face up, you can reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, and if there are any plant type monsters among them, send those cards to the graveyard. Also return the other cards, if any, to the bottom of your deck in any order. If this card is revealed from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one spell or trap card on the field, destroy that target. So this guy's effect, when he's milled off, is an MST. You blow something up. Not too shabby. And remember what I said, revealing a top card or cards, depending on what the Shinra monster is. This guy, when you flip him up, whether he's being attacked or if you're flip summoning him or if he's being flipped up by like Swords of Revealing Light. Yeah, I said Swords of Revealing Light because why not? I had to bring up other examples, you know. You reveal top 5 cards and then mill off any plants that you find there. And then they have, you know, as you know, they all have effects to activate when they get revealed and milled off from the deck. But what's kind of cool is that, you know, he's a wall too. So, I mean, if you need like a decent level 4 monster. I mean, this guy isn't that strong. This guy you can't just summon right away. But this guy, you can just set him. When he gets flipped up, reveal any plants, you just mill him off. And then if you mill like these guys, you could bring back a plant from the graveyard. If you mill this guy, you get to rearrange the top 3 cards of your deck however you like. So it just helps with the theme of the deck, and yeah, it's kind of interesting really. And he's on fire. It's kind of cool. Next, we have Shinra no Mizusaki Leaf. Now the attributes are all over the place. Like this guy is water, this guy's fire. This guy's fire, and this guy's wind. So, yeah, you kind of have a lot of mixed attributes going on here, which could be bad or good. It just depends on your viewpoint, I guess. It's a water plant effect, level 3, 1500 attack, 1200 defense. When this card is normal summoned, you can reveal up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. And if there are any plant type monsters among them, send those cards to the graveyard. Also return the other cards, if any, to the bottom of your deck in any order. If this card is revealed from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you could target one monster on the field, destroy that target. So this guy just blows up monsters. So he's basically the counterpart to Stool, where, you know, Stool blew up spells and traps. This guy could blow up monsters. Not too shabby. And, you know, it's not going to be that hard to trigger either. I mean, if you're running them by themselves, you're probably going to get the effect off quite often. Especially when, you know, you get these on the top. Like if you use Regia to rearrange the top 3 cards of your deck, you can set it to where this guy is the guy you reveal from the top of your deck with a card effect. So let's say you use Regia's effect, you reveal this and a couple other cards. You make this the second card, unless you have a card effect that lets you reveal and mill a card or something like that with another Shinra monster. But for this situation, you put it as the second card. So come your next draw phase, you would draw, and then if you still have Regia, let's say you had Regia on the field, you activate his effect, reveal the top card. If it's a plant, you send it to the grave and draw a card. You mill this guy, you draw a card, and then you activate this guy's effect to blow up a monster. So you kind of have a very interesting milling engine, an engine that can trigger multiple effects at the same time. And I mean, if you mill him and like Stool, you could blow up a spell, trap, and a monster at the same time. While at the same time, these guys have their own effects that have to reveal the top cards of your deck and mill any plant them on them. So they all seem to do that. It's a very interesting engine, and actually, it's something I've thought about with my Talaya Plants deck. Kind of mixing them together, but I don't know how well it would work because these guys seem to work on their own very well at the moment. But I believe there is a way you can mix a couple of like the Flower Princesses in the deck as well. But anyways, we got this guy. He's like a knight. Shinra no Hanakishi Narcissus. He is Earth plant effect, level 4, 1800 attack, 1000 defense. So he's a decent beater. Not too shabby. When this card is normal summoned, you can reveal the top card of your deck. And if it is a plant type monster, send it to the graveyard. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of your deck. If this card is revealed from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you could choose one Shinra card from your deck and place it on top of your deck. So, yeah, he sets up when he gets milled by any of the Shinra monsters, you can stack your deck with a Shinra card. So it doesn't have to be just a monster. It could be a spell or trap, which they do have. But you can set it up to where you could put a particular Shinra card to the top of your deck. Especially if you already have a Shinra monster's effect ready to go to reveal the top cards of your deck. You can get, the one that when you mill it, you get to blow up a monster or spell trap or special summon a plant type monster from the graveyard. So you could basically set that up just with this guy's normal summon, and he's a decent sized monster too. So yeah, it's not bad. And he's Earth, so yeah, I guess that's good, right? Clearly, that's good for something because particular monsters work with Earth monsters. We're gonna move right along. Then we have this guy. This is the final guy in the archetype as of right now, as far as the monsters go. Shinra no Banen Oak. He is a level 6 Earth plant effect, 2500 attack, 1500 defense. Not too shabby on the attack. He's pretty much got the similar stats like a Monarch or something like that. Once per turn, you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. And if there are any plant type monsters among them, send those cards to the graveyard. Also return the other cards, if any, to the bottom of your deck in any order. If this card is revealed from the deck and sent to the graveyard by a card event, you could target one other plant type monster in your graveyard and place that target on top of your deck. So it's kind of interesting because he works similar to Reggie, how you can reveal the top cards of your deck once per turn. Not just being summoned or special summoned or anything like that. As long as he's on the field once per turn, you get to use this effect. And when you mill him off by using one of these guys' effects, you get to stack your deck with a plant type monster. So if you have another Shinra monster's effect ready to go, you can just go, all right, I'll reveal this top card, and then it's going to be a Shinra monster. So you mill it off, and you'll get their effect. And if you use something like Regia, the big tree dude, to mill him off, you can also get to draw a card. So it's pretty nice. Now, I don't know how consistent the deck would look like. I mean, the DEVPro at this current moment in time of recording doesn't have the stuff ready yet, and it's probably going to be a while. But when the stuff does get on DEVPro, it's going to be very interesting to see how these guys work on their own or mix with other plant type monsters. Because the way I see it, you can mix it with other plant type monsters. Because in certain instances, if you run like the Flower Princesses, you could potentially mill them off too. Now, that's not entirely a bad thing either, because you have cards like Miracle Fertilizer, which is pretty much a once per turn monster reborn, and you can keep doing it once per turn as long as the spell remains in play. You can also use something like Redox, Dragon Ruler Boulders to bring back one of your plant type monsters from the graveyard. And some of these Shinra monsters just happen to be Earth, so you can use them along with Redox to kind of have an interesting recurring engine and stuff like that. But I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff to be tested out in this set, and honestly, this is just one of the couple archetypes that have a lot of potential right now. But we're not done yet. They got a field spell, ladies and gentlemen. Sacred Mountain of Shinra. Oh yeah, field spell time. And this is where stuff gets kind of interesting now. Well, it fits in with the theme, of course. The effect is, you could send one plant-type monster you control or from your hand to the graveyard. Choose one Shinra monster from your deck and place it on top of your deck. You can only use this effect of Sacred Mountain of Shinra once per turn. Once per turn during your opponent's end phase, you can reveal the top card of your deck. And if the revealed card is a plant-type monster, send it to the graveyard. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of your deck. So, it basically does the same thing. But what's kind of cool is that you can send the plant to the graveyard. Now, this particularly is helpful if you're choosing to run stuff like Talaya, Princess of Cherry Blossoms, Marina, Princess of Sunflowers, or Titania, or even the new flower princess, Chirubime, Princess of Maples. If you don't usually want them in your hand, but what's kind of cool is that not only can you get rid of them from your hand to the graveyard, you can stack your deck with a Shinra monster. So when you summon this guy, you reveal the top card. And if it's a plant, you send it to the graveyard. And if it's something like, Stool, which can basically blow up a monster or spell trap, or Leaf, which lets you blow up a spell trap, it's pretty cool. You kind of have a little manipulation of the top deck, as well as a discard outlet for your plant type monsters, whether they're high level or not. So it's kind of cool. And then, of course, during your opponent's end phase, you can reveal the top card, and then you can mill it off if it's a plant. So the effect obviously makes it so that, when it comes to your opponent's end phase, you're going to have a Shinra on the top, unless, your opponent uses a card effect that makes you shuffle your deck in some way or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting, and it looks pretty cool, too. I love the artwork on this card. It's definitely going to look great. Then finally we have Blessing of Shinra. They have their own themed trap now. The effect is, return one card from your hand to either the top or bottom of the deck. Then special summon one Shinra monster from your hand or graveyard. It is unaffected by other card effects. During the end phase, return that monster to either the top or bottom of the deck. So this is interesting. You get to put a card to the bottom or top. This fits well with, the theme of revealing the top card of your deck, and if it being a plant, you mill it off. So you could put any plant, you could basically put any of the Shinra monsters, or you could put something like Lone Fire Blossom to the top and mill it off with a card effect, with any of the Shinra monsters, or you could put something like Talaya to the top of your deck so that you can not only get her out of your hand and, stack your deck, but, you get her out of your hand. So if you have something like Lone Fire Blossom, you can summon her from the deck, and you don't have to worry about, oh shit, I drew my Flower Princess, what do I do? Well, this card can kind of help you there too, so it's nice, and you kind of have a whole immunity to other card effects, which is pretty nice. This also works, if you summon the big guy like Regia or the Oak, they're basically immune to every other card effect for that whole turn. Not too shabby. And then during the end phase, you put it to the top or bottom, so yeah, it just really depends on what you want to do at the time. So overall, this archetype has quite a bit of promise, and there is potential to mix other plant type monsters with it, but again, that just remains to be seen. We just got to test this stuff out, man, because we already knew about these two guys from the beginning, and they had a very strange premise. But now that we know more of the monsters and the archetype and how they work, there's potential in here somewhere. It might be, I don't even know if it's going to be like a tier 1 deck, but it's definitely going to be a very interesting, fun deck, albeit with a very strange premise, but a very cool premise at the same time. Yeah, cool and weird. I never thought I would say that. But yeah, if you like the stuff, leave a comment below, and, we can have a discussion on potential combos with this deck, because let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff to be explored in this set, and this is just one of the archetypes to explore. So, yeah. I will see you guys next time. Peace. Seriously, though, I love the artwork on this card. It's like, I think it was like Mount Fuji or something like that. I forget. I think it was Mount Fuji. It kind of reminds me of that, so just had to throw that out there. I don't know why. I just felt like it, so yeah. See ya. That awkward moment where you realize, oh shit, I forgot to talk about the freaking Xyz monster for the archetype. Hello? I mean, I don't know. Before people would start leaving comments telling me that I forgot about this card, we're gonna go over this one. So, this guy, Shinra no Moragami Aruse. He's a light plant Xyz effect rank 8. 2300 attack, 3200 defense. Wow, that's interesting. And takes 2 level 8 monsters to make, so it's a generic rank 8 monster, which could be good or bad, it just depends. Once per turn, you can declare one card name, reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is the declared card, add it to your hand. Otherwise, send that card to the graveyard. If a card is sent from your deck to the graveyard by a card effect, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target one card on the field. Place that card on the top or bottom of the deck. You can only use this effect of Shinra no Moragami Aruse once per turn. So, simply put, he fits the whole theme of revealing the top card of your deck. Now, what's kind of cool is that you have a couple of routes to go with this. Since the archetype is mainly going to be rearranging the top cards of your deck, so you know what the card's going to be a lot of the time, you can declare whichever card you put on the top and then add it to your hand with this guy's effect, because when you reveal it, it's going to be the declared card, especially when you stack your deck with one of those cards with the effect of one of the Shinra monsters, or with like the field spell. So, I mean, you got that there. Or you can obviously declare it wrong on purpose in that instance, because, you know, if you put the leaf on the top and you say, well, I call the stool guy, the stool thing, and then you mill it off because you call it wrong, but you get the effect of the other Shinra monster anyway, so you kind of benefit either way. And then because you did that, you can detach a material and then put a card on the field to the top or bottom. So you're probably going to be picking your opponent half the time, because depending on what they have on the field, you might want to put a problematic card to the bottom, or if you want to screw them over as far as top decking, you just put it on the top. So they have to redraw it again. So, yeah, this could kind of screw up your opponent if you use it correctly. But, I don't know. I don't know how easy it is for the Shinra monsters to make this, but I guess if they can go into this, it'll definitely be a very good card to use. And it's a generic, so, I mean, certain other decks can use it. I guess you can use it in, like, Dark World, because Graph is level 8. Yeah. Or you can run, like, you know, the Gagagas. They're basically all about making whatever rank monsters you like, so you got that. So, yeah, there's probably other decks, but I don't feel like naming them off. So, yeah. For reals this time, I'm freaking done. Peace.